Welcome, everybody. Oh, it looks like I am live, starting here right on time, 12 p.m. my time and Central Time. So nice to have you all here. And today we're going to talk about some things that I think are really important for coaches or even anyone that's starting a coaching business is to talk about why you're working so hard in your coaching business. You're just, oh my God, you're working so hard and you just feel like you are spinning your wheels. You feel like you're on a hamster wheel. You feel like you're burning out. You feel you're constantly second guessing yourself. You're filled with self doubt all the time. And you're just like, oh my God, where are the clients? Or why isn't this working? And it's very frustrating, and it can be it can lead to not just burnout, but it can lead to a lot of loss, like as far as like loss of time, loss of money, even by investing in things that aren't actually going to move the needle. It also is like a loss of momentum, like a loss of momentum, which can lead to actually just quitting, like flat out quitting, which is definitely not what I recommend if this is truly what you're meant to do. So that's why I'm here today. Is I want to just talk about a few things that I hope can help you and shine some light on some of these things you're probably thinking, why is this happening? Okay, so let me just check here, make sure. I have to have notes so I stay on topic. Otherwise, I could go all over the place and I can take you all like outside the lane of what we're talking about. Um, so what I want to say is that, I get it. I've been coaching for 10 years. This month is actually my 10-year anniversary of opening a coaching practice, an office, like a physical office. I used to have an actual physical office. Of course, everything I do now is online, it's all virtual. But 10 years ago, I had a physical office and I started a coaching practice. And it was the most exciting thing I'd ever done in my life. It was like a big, huge change for me. I'd gone from, I've been in healing arts for God, 30 years. That dates me. I had been a massage therapist for years and years and years, and a yoga instructor. And I'd gone back to school and I'd gotten a degree in my 40s. And I wanted to change. I wanted to change my career. I wanted to do something different. And I ended up stumbling upon life coaching after I graduated with a bachelor's degree in business, which actually, honestly, you guys, having a bachelor's degree in business didn't teach me any of the things that I now know that I think have made me successful in business. I'm not saying it's bad, because it was a really good experience for me. But it's true that academically speaking, it really didn't teach me any of the things I'm about to talk to you about today. However, it was a very exciting time for me. And I feel like I want to say that to you because, I'm not saying it wasn't important for me to go through what I did, but if I could go back in time and talk to my younger self and tell her the things that I'm going to tell you today, I could have saved myself a lot of pain and a lot of time. I could have skipped a lot of these steps that I went through. So here's what I want you to take away today is that, you know, even though you might be feeling burnt out and you might be feeling exhausted and like you're showing up and you're doing everything that you were told to do, right? Like maybe you've taken some marketing courses, you've gotten all these skills, you've got a lot of certifications, you've got a lot of skills, and you can help people. Like I know you, and I know you are really talented. You are really good at what you do. You're awesome at what you do. You should be helping people. This is what you should be doing. And you're authentic and you're loving and you're empathetic and you're caring and you're compassionate and you want to change the world. So you definitely are in the right profession. But you're doubting yourself and you feel like what's wrong with me that I can't figure this out? And it's very painful. It's very painful because it feels like, there's something out there that you don't know, that you haven't figured out yet. It feels like, why can't I get this right? Does that sound familiar? It does. Put it in the comments. Like, tell me yes. Are you tracking with me here? So what I want you to know is that it's not your fault. It's not your fault. And here's the thing. What you want is to actually show up in your business and you want to feel confident, right? Like you want to feel confident in yourself and in your skills and your abilities. And you want to feel like your business is this sustainable, right? Like you want to feel like this is something that I know I can keep doing. You want to feel like it is a sustainable business model. And you want to feel clear about your decisions. So you want to know, okay, I can make decisions about things and I can feel clear and I can stick with it. That's very important in business. We want to be able to trust ourselves because it comes down to trust. That's what you actually want, right? And you want clients, of course. If you're want clients, and that's a big part of it. So maybe right now you're in the pain of not having clients yet. Or maybe you're in the pain of you've got clients, but it's a lot of work and maybe the clients feel draining and you're having trouble with your boundaries, with your time. Maybe your clients are triggering you, and you're starting to doubt yourself again. You're doubting your abilities. You're doubting whether you should be doing this. I want to tell you where this is coming from, okay? And I want to tell you that you don't need another certification. Not that certifications aren't awesome. I love certifications. I have a certification program. I love teaching and I love learning. But the truth is, there are times when this is absolutely true is you don't need another certification in order to actually move the needle, move forward. You don't need another course on marketing or another marketing tactic. Marketing tactics, marketing strategies are important. I use them. Okay. I use them and they work. They work when you're already aligned, but they don't work when you're in a pattern of being unhealed, being in a toxic, unhealed pattern. Now, let me tell you where this is coming from. This is coming from the unhealed patterns from childhood. In childhood, we experience trauma, right? We experience trauma. And people sometimes don't understand what trauma is. They think maybe trauma means something terrible happened to me, which obviously it can be. But what I found most of the time is trauma is our response as children to something that's happening in our external world that we can't process. It's very simple. Okay. Now, typically, with people who grew up in toxic and dysfunctional families, which can include narcissistic systems or just otherwise dysfunctional, have a lot of little traumas that pile up over time. And what I've found most of the time is that it's not actually something that someone told us or that we heard or we took on, but it's something we decided in ourselves in a moment. We decided something about ourselves or about the world, and it created a belief, which has been following us, a pattern, a belief that created a pattern is following us through our whole life into adulthood. And this can be something very simple. And I want to give you an example. Something like, let's just say in childhood, let's say your parents fought a lot, argued and screamed, and maybe it wasn't necessarily physically violent, but maybe it was very violent, verbally. And for children, that's very scary. That's very scary. And maybe your response to that happening a lot was that, well, there must be something wrong with me if I can't stop them from doing this. Like if they can't stop yelling, if I can't make them happy, if I can't smooth this over, if I can't make everybody happy, then there must be something wrong with me. That's a really typical response of a childhood, trauma response. It's like you tell yourself something like that, there must be something wrong with me, and it just gets ingrained. And it's running under the subconscious and it's following you through your life. And the reason why children do that is because, children can't look at the situation like an adult. Like an adult would look at that and say, well, those two people are arguing and it's, that's their problem. Like that's their fault. They're the ones that can't resolve their conflict. That's the problem. But a child can't think that way. And a child can only control themselves. So if they put it on themselves, if they say it must be my fault, then they can feel safe because then they feel like there's the illusion of control, and which leads to, well, if I could just fix myself, if I could just be a better person, if I could be better, and that leads to perfectionism and all sorts of other things. But I'm getting off track now. But I think you see where I'm going with this, is that it creates a belief. Let's say there's something wrong with me, right? There must be something wrong with me. And that's the lie. But it's coming from the inner child part of you that still believes this pattern is running. There's something wrong with me. Okay, so you guys tracking so far? You with me? Okay, so I gotta stay on track with my notes. Otherwise, I will go way off topic, which is fine. It's fine, right? Okay, so I'm talking about the reasons why this happens. Your inner child is driving the bus. That's it, you guys. I'm just going to tell you straight up. I'm sorry. I know it doesn't sound good, but your inner child is driving the bus and you don't even know it. Or maybe you do know it and you don't know what to do about it. But just becoming aware of it is the first step. And this is never good in business, in your business. If the inner child's driving the bus in your business, this is why it doesn't matter how many strategies you have, or how good you are, or how much you show up. The inner child's driving the bus, and the inner child should not be driving the bus because they don't know where they're going, right? They don't know how to operate. They don't know how to operate the bus, and you are going to crash. That's just it. So here's the thing. I want you to know that it's not that you're not smart enough, because you are. You're smart enough. You're skilled. Like, you know all the stuff. It's just that what's happening is that this inner child part of you is taking you over. And like I said before, that belief that's running under the surface, whatever it is, like, well, there must be something wrong with me, is repeating. It's repeating. It's repeating. And you see, what happens is we sabotage ourselves. Like I said, it's subconscious. We sabotage ourselves around that belief. So we will create things that will then make that belief true. So you will have the evidence. Like, there's something wrong with me. Okay, yeah. So now I don't have clients, or I'm getting on calls with clients, but they're not booking with me. So there must be something wrong with me. You see what I'm saying? That's how it works. I'm going to give you an example, an actual case study, because this really demonstrates what I'm talking about really, really well. I had this client who was getting started her coaching business, and she had a social media marketing strategy person that she was paying. And so the thing is, the strategies were solid, and she was showing up, and like, she was doing the work, and she was making the videos and the reels, and she was creating like the brand, personal brand, and she had, a lot going. She was working really hard. She was doing everything she was told to do in this strategy, which is a solid strategy. But she wasn't able to get clients to sign with her. She was getting some clarity calls, discovery calls. She was talking to people. She was doing workshops, but she just wasn't able to get a client to sign. She was getting very frustrated, and she was like throwing her hands up. She was getting ready to quit. Like, maybe I'm not cut out for this, to that point. And we were working together, and we were accessing the inner child part. And I mean, long story short, obviously, because this is a bit of a process, but what happened was that she discovered that there was, in the past, experiences she had had that had set her up to have this belief that there must be something wrong with me. It was very specific around some experiences. And because of that, she created this scenarios where She was feeling like there was something wrong with her, and that's why these clients weren't signing up, because there was something wrong with her. She was doing something wrong. And once she realized that this was the pattern, and she realized this is where it's coming from, and she was able to work with her inner child and allow the inner child to see that that's in the past, and reparent the inner child, meaning give the child what the child needed that they didn't get. Give them the support, give them the love, give them the unconditional, positive validation. Let them know, like, there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. And in a scenario I played out before, where this said parents were arguing, your parents were the problem. There's nothing wrong with you. They were the ones that created this problem. They couldn't resolve their issues. They couldn't regulate their emotions. That's not your job. There's nothing wrong with you. So this is an example of reparenting. And once this process was done, and she was working with this process for herself and her own issue, she got to a point in just a few hours where she was able to really shift that belief and create a new belief to put in its place, which is, people want to work with me. People can't wait to work with me. People are excited to work with me. And within hours, she got a client. She got a client to sign with her and book with her and start working with her. So, coincidence? I don't think so. And I just want you to understand that, marketing strategies are great, but if you're not aligned, if you have a belief like that running under the surface, it doesn't matter what you do, your inner child is going to be like, oh no, this isn't safe. This isn't safe, and we're putting the brakes on, and we're going to sabotage, and we're going to do everything we can. We're going to procrastinate. We're going to be a perfectionist. We're gonna tweak everything so it's perfect before, say, we launch or we make offers. We're not ready to make our offers yet because we have to get them perfect. There's just so many reasons why the inner child will throw up resistance. And this is actually what is stopping you. This is what is stopping you. Okay, you guys? Now, what I want to tell you is that it seems counterintuitive. Okay, it seems counterintuitive. But the way out is to look at the inner child, look at those patterns, break those toxic patterns in your life first before you try to apply more strategies, more courses, more certifications. I know that feels counterintuitive because you're trying to fix the wrong thing. You're trying to fix the symptoms and you're not going to the root cause. Okay, so if this resonates with you, if anything I've said resonates with you, I want you to know that I am going to be going deeper in a free masterclass that I'm going to be launching very soon. I'm going to drop the link in here. If you guys want to get on the wait list, I would love to see you there. So go ahead and sign up for that free masterclass because we are going to go a lot deeper into all this, and I would love to see you there. So if anyone would like to ask me a question too, I have the chat open here, just so you know. And I can see your questions. So you can ask me questions or just say hi, and I'd be happy to answer them. I was going to tell you about something else too. It's like a really good example of why some marketing strategies don't work and the things that can happen. This is actually a personal story, I'll tell you. It's a really I have to laugh at it. It's a funny story. So when I first started my coaching business, like I said, it was 10 years ago. And at that time, maybe online businesses weren't quite as popular as they are now. But social media obviously was the place to be if you want to promote yourself. And I had no idea how, no idea how to navigate social media. I never really used it. I mean, I had a Facebook account and sometimes I would go on there, but I didn't know anything. I was completely green around that stuff. And I did something that I would not recommend people doing when you first start your coaching process. You have no clients, you have no clue, is to invest, I think it was $2,000 at the time. It was like a $2,000 program to learn how to sell on LinkedIn. And you guys, I thought, it was a good learning experience. But the truth is, it basically was teaching you to just go into all these Facebook groups and in these groups in LinkedIn and just start like cold selling your stuff. Just DM people and just try to get them on a call. Not that there's anything wrong with that. That works for some people, but it didn't work for me, and it made me feel really uncomfortable. And what I know now is because some things were happening where like I was getting in trouble in these groups because they had these specific rules around how you can promote yourself and how many times you could promote yourself and all these things. And I just didn't know what I was doing. And so I was getting like banned from groups and I was getting scolded by admins for going against the rules. And the thing is, I was getting super triggered because it was really embarrassing and I felt all this shame. Like it just felt so shameful. And there I was thinking, God, I spent $2,000 on this program to learn and do something. Like, I can't do it and it's terrible. And oh my gosh, it just felt like an investment disaster. But what's funny is what I realized, and it wasn't all that immediate, was that I actually had a belief, like running subconsciously from childhood trauma, that like other people can do this, but you can't. Like other people get to, other people get to do things. Other people get to have things and they're around you and you can see it, but you can't do it. So you're not allowed. And just so that was a specific thing that came up for me. And so I see how it was manifesting. It was manifesting in me being in these groups and seeing all these other people do this promotion and seeing them get results. And then when I do it, I get in trouble. And so it was funny because later I was like, oh, that's why that was happening, And so I think my point is that it's not that there was anything really wrong with that program, because lots of people used it and made money and they were successful and they felt fine with it. But it didn't work for me because I wasn't aligned yet. And I had that belief, I had that shame, and I had that belief. And so it manifested. It manifested in my external world. And I thought that it was the program. So I think, like I said, it's just a really good example of how that can show up. It's if that has happened to you, if you tried things and they didn't work, maybe it's because it was a bad strategy. Possibly there can be this, but it's more likely it's just that you just weren't aligned. You just weren't aligned. Let's see. I've got a comment. Marlene says, other people get to do their work they love, right? Not me. Other people. Yeah, that's also a common belief that I've heard. Other people get to, but not me. And that definitely comes from childhood. If you feel like you didn't get to do something that you should have, that was your right, that you deserved, or that you should have had, and you didn't get to do it, and you don't resolve that, and it's subconscious. It starts showing up as an adult. It starts showing up in your experiences in your world. Okay. So I think that's all I really have today. I didn't have like a really long live plan, but I just wanted to jump on and chat with you all and tell you all about these things because I feel like it's just so important. Like I said, if I could go back in time 10 years ago and tell my younger self all these things, maybe it wouldn't have taken her so long to get some success. And also she would have gotten there with like less shame and more joy and not felt like there was something so wrong with her. And that's what I wish for all of you. That's why I'm here. And that's why I get up every day. And that's all I think about is all I think about when I go to sleep, when I wake up, is I'm thinking about this work. I'm thinking about reparenting the inner child and healing and the incredible transformation that comes with it. And I'm thinking about sharing it with everyone in the world because it's the most wonderful thing that I could ever get to do. And I feel so blessed and so grateful that I get to do this work. I'm so happy that you were here today and that you were listening. And even if you haven't commented, that's fine. I know you're out there. Everyone watching this recording later, I hope you got something out of this. And I do hope that you join my free masterclass. Again, I'm going to put the link in here again in case you got here a little late. Join the wait list, and then I'll send you an email as soon as it's open. So save your seat now, and I hope to see you there. Okay, everyone. Thanks for being here. May you be at ease and know joy. Bye, everyone.